Dante, how you doing, mate?
Good. How are you?
I'm pretty good, man. Thank you so much for doing this.
Yep.
So let's just jump straight in. Tell us your story. Tell us how this all started for you.
So I think it was around 2 to 3 years ago now, where it was right before I was running at like track nationals, and I felt the pain in my groin. I couldn't even, like, if I was laying down on the ground, couldn't even lift my leg up at all. But somehow the pain, someone like stretched me out, the pain went away, and I would feel it off and on a little bit for 2 years. And like after a soccer game or something, when I would run a lot or just have a hard game, it would just come back and then go away. But then, so around 7 months ago, I was, that would be like June. So I was running. It was before I was running at a track meet, and it felt all uncomfortable and wasn't necessarily painful yet. I could just feel that something was wrong. So I ran my race, and it hurt, but I just had another race, so I stretched out, and so I ran my race. I got my best time in that race, but I could barely even walk after it, and so we didn't know what it was. Like, I knew, like, it was something I had before, but we didn't know what it was. So I just rested for a while. Like I know from watching a few of these other, or reading up on people who had this and watching the other videos of people who've done your thing, like, they're just like ice, stretch, all that, which is what I did. And it sometimes it got a little bit. Obviously, it got a little bit better because I went from not being able to walk to it hurting, but I could walk. So it did get better, but it just didn't go away. And so I had also just made like one of the best like soccer teams in the state. So like like a month before I got injured. So I was just starting out with this team, and they were starting up for the year like in August or something. So I I obviously didn't want to like just not do anything, and I didn't know what this was. So I played through it, and it's possible to play through because I did. So, but it just would get in the way of being able to freely play, and it after it just killed. And trying to trying to remember when. So it was then my high school soccer season started after that, and so I missed the entire season because of this. But I think it was like mid-September I got an MRI. Oh, before that I was doing physical therapy, and it helped a little bit, but again, it's still there, still wasn't really doing anything. But so then the guy there told me to get an MRI, and I did, and like a week later something came back and said I had Osteitis Pubis, and it's like, what is that? And so we I think we went to the doctor after that. No. Oh, no. Yeah, wait. So I went to the doctor, and it's just like pretty much you can't do anything about it, which it's crazy how like nobody, like, we went to like the best children's hospital in the country, and they're just like, just rest. You can't do anything about it. It's like, okay. But then it was like the end of September, and I think it was just one night I was on YouTube, and I just searched Osteitis Pubis, and I found your videos, and I was watching some of them, and then I clicked on the link in the description, and then scheduled the appointment, and we went from there.
So when you're watching my videos, and they're horrible quality, what was I gonna say? How did you what did you take away from the videos? Kind of like what was the kind of thing you were like, okay, cool, I want to meet up with this guy. Like, what did you take away from that kind of was like, okay, I want to meet up with this dude?
Well, first, it sounded like you knew what you're talking about, so I didn't necessarily understand all the stuff, but you knew what you were talking about, and it was just not that it was like, obviously, because there's people like, I know you've dealt with people that were dealing with this for literally years and didn't know. For me, this was just like a few months of dealing with it, which still sucked, but it's still like, there's no other options. It's like a last resort thing.
Mhm.
So it's like, I told my parents about it, and they're like, "Why not try it? Why not?" I was like, "I don't know if I want to really Skype someone, like, because I hadn't seen your face yet, so I was like, I don't know if I want to really Skype someone from like Australia, because I thought you were gonna be some like old guy, just some like old doctor, and it was gonna be all weird, but it's not how it was."
Nothing weird about like an old dude Skyping with a 16. Wait, how old were you at the time?
15.
15-year-old boy. Nothing weird about that. All right, cool. So we met up, right? And I kind of like, I took you through the pelvis, and I took you through the explanations, and kind of what like what were you able to? When did it start to like? When did the penny start to drop in terms of how you thought about the condition? Like, how did that change from before we started meeting up before until we like, and then when we started having our sessions? Like, how did you think about the condition differently?
Like, what do you mean by that?
Like, so obviously the doctors are telling you things like rest and stuff like that, and they're telling you, it's inflammation of the pubic bone. So you have an idea, like, a vague idea of what you think is going wrong, and then obviously you meet up with me, and I start like filling your head with all these other ideas. Like, how did you change, I guess, the broad idea of what you thought OP is and why you had it and stuff like that?
Well, I think it was just, well, because the doctors here had like no idea how it happened, and I think, well, I don't really know then how, like, now I have an idea of, well, it's probably just because of my running mechanics. Like, I might be really fast, but just the way I run, just the form and not landing right is probably, and just been pounding it for years and years. It, like, now I know, but before I had no idea really what caused it.
Awesome. So we jumped in, right? We started doing our sessions. What did you think of the exercises? Like, first off, like the deadlift, and the ab wheel, and all that stuff. What was your like initial reaction to those?
Well, at first, like the ones of just like standing there and like the getting into the right pose or whatever, like that was like the very first one or something. I thought it was really stupid. And
the truth's
just
coming out now.
just like with all of those first ones, like it was just like, I don't see how this is helping. Like I would do them, but I didn't think they were helping. Like, but now, like in hindsight, it's like it all connects to literally everything athletically that you can do. Like, just being able to do that correct led to this doing this one exercise, then doing another one and another one, then being able to run, and now it makes all sense. But then it just seems stupid.
What did you think of like the core breathing then? Because that would have been quite funny for you then.
Yeah, just at first, because it was like, to do it, like to be able to do it right, my dad was like, you're gonna have to like to be able to first feel how it feels to breathe like that. You're gonna have to like make a noise probably coming out of your mouth. And then he did it, and I was like, I'm not doing that. Because crazy noise, like, like I was like, nope, I'm not.
I'm just visualizing, like, like you imagine like caricature of a TV teenager in a TV show, just being like, "No, Dad, no, no, like stop that, stop dancing to the music."
It was pretty much it.
What was I say? All right. So something that I think is really important that I do want you to talk about specifically was obviously like we had trouble with like the body awareness and the feelings, right? Like knowing what muscle was. So with Dante's case, Dante was really really good at picking up a movement and being able to replicate it. Like it took him like a second to be like, this is a deadlift, and then he would give me the exact shape of a deadlift almost instantly. Like there wasn't a lot of me going, move your bum here, do your chest here, kind of thing. You tended to pick that up really, really quickly. You could just look at a video, or you could look at me and then replicate it. But kind of going, oh, hey, what muscle are you using? Came really, really difficult. And to be like, all right, you're in the right shape, but you're still putting the weight in the wrong places, and so that's going to put pressure in the wrong places and cause pain. Just talk people through like how hard that was to kind of like to work through and to kind of learn and to teach your body a new skill that you may not have kind of had before then.
Like, I don't think it was, obviously it was hard, but like, it's just something so simple that I probably overcomplicated. And it was hard before because it's just, I never like thought about exercising or stuff like that, or like I said before, like I would always just like go through the motions. Like I might like actually I might do more than everyone else, but one person might actually be in the workout in the moment while I just did all of them and wasn't even thinking. And so that would, for like the first, I don't even know, but for a while I was doing this, I was just going through the motions. Like I might have been able to do the stuff right, but I wasn't really knowing when this muscle's turning on or what muscle's taking the load. And it just literally all it takes is, well, first the hard part probably was like recognizing how it feels when that muscle is taking the load, how it feels when it's turning on, or how a muscle feels when it shouldn't be taking the load but is. Like those are things that you need to recognize at first. But once you get that, it's really not that hard. Like literally all you have to do is be able to recognize those things and just stay locked in and in the moment while exercise or while doing these and while just ever exercising.
I think it's a really important point you kind of don't say, but like you're making, which is when you're just a good athlete, right? Like no one really needs to tell you how to do stuff. You just went out and did it better than everyone else. So it's not like people ever had to sit you down and be like, "Oh wow, Dante, like we need to show you how to do this." You kind of just went and did it. And so it can kind of be hard to like when you've always been gifted at stuff to kind of go and break things down. When everything comes natural, it's kind of hard to try and like break things down into little bits. And you're right. Once you get the skill right, it's easy. You just apply it over and over again, and you stay focused. But I think it is something that happens a lot with OP, especially like people, women who get pregnant can get OP. So it makes them more sensitive and like the ligaments or stuff. But a lot of people who get OP are actually good athletes. Like they may not be great athletes, but they naturally strong or naturally fast or naturally something else. And it's almost like they're strong enough to break themselves, whilst most normal people aren't actually strong enough to get themselves that injured, if that makes sense. But yeah, I think it's a really good point in that it was like, I always thought like, and you remember like we met up and I was just like, it's cool. You're learning all the exercises really quickly. We just might have to spend this extra time getting them to feel right kind of thing. But like, I think it was really cool how you were able to do that and take a skill that like, it may seem like such a simple thing, like what muscle is doing the job, but if you've never done it before in your life, it's like learning a new language kind of thing. It's not easy. And I thought it was really cool how you were able to just stay focused on that kind of week after week after week until it made sense. And even if it didn't quite make as much sense as you wanted it to, it was kind of like you found systems and ways to make it work, even if it wasn't perfect or ideal, and to just keep pushing forward so your body could kind of get to the end and figure stuff out for itself, which, yeah, I thought was pretty cool. So tell me, which of the exercises did you hate the most?
Hmm. Maybe I don't know. Maybe the ball slams,
Yeah.
maybe. Those ones are difficult. I'm trying to think, there's.
I feel like they'd also be the ones you like the most now because they're satisfying, right?
Yeah.
But I can remember at the
Like,
time.
like none of the exercises like are necessarily hard, but it's just doing them right. It's like that's the hard part. It's not, and then once you get that, they're not that hard.
Hmm.
Like compared to stuff I've done before, it's like when you look at this stuff, it's not necessarily like you're getting like an intense workout, but it's just like you have to do this stuff right, and that's the hard part of it. So in a way, all of them were hard at some point because it's just like even at the beginning, like just being able to stand right, like I couldn't even do that. I couldn't even just let my body sink in and just stand right. So come a long way.
I'll say. So tell me, like now that you're back, now that you're running and stuff, just talk about how it feels. Just talk about how it feels to put all this work in, like over like a really long period of time, and be at the end of it, kind of thing.
Like obviously, I'm really happy just to be back running and all that. Like I think in like a week or something, I'll be running my first meet like since I got injured. So it's obviously great to be back, and I think I've I'd rather, of course, not been injured and been able to stay in shape. That's like my biggest thing is because I'm out of shape now. Like, so it's going to take a while to get back to there, I but I've definitely learned a lot from being injured, from just actually like just being injured, and through this program I've just learned a lot of patience and uh, you know you sometimes you have to just actually work for things and do things correctly, and so I've learned a lot from doing this. Again, I'm kind of I'd rather have not been injured, but I'm happy that I did it, and now that it's over, I so like this isn't something like it's not something I'll ever have to really do again. Like
Hmm.
spending every day doing these specific exercises is not something I'll have to do again. So I'm happy that I did it now. It's over.
No one can ever take that information out of your brain. Is like
Yeah.
the thing kind of thing. So you'll never have to go through learning it again or doing it again because it's in there and it's like I'd like to think I repeated myself so many times that it will never ever come
Yeah.
out. But this has been really really awesome. One last question. If someone was kind of in your situation in your position, like what's the message you'd want to give across to them? Kind of like if they're in that place where they're just getting lots of messages and mixed information. What's the kind of thing you want to tell to them to keep them going?
Like if they were doing this or thinking about doing this.
Either or, whichever one you want to answer.
Well, if you're thinking about doing this like program, like you pretty much you just have to. If you ever want to be like get better and be able to do the things you used to do, like this is literally the only thing out there that I could find that would work. And like it's hard, it takes time and a lot of work, but it's worth it. If if you think like it's going to take I don't have enough time in the day to do this, like I I would literally get home like at 5 o'clock, have homework, like, and it's not like again, I'm not a bad student. I have mostly A's, like, and I've been able to keep my grades up while doing this, and find time, like, find an hour and a half every day just to do this. Like, I think literally there was only like 2 or 3 days where I didn't do anything, like where or I just had to take off, like, in this whole time. Like, you just have to find time to be able to do this. And, like, if you think you can't, again, like, I had school, I had I had a kidney stone while doing
Yeah,
this.
that's right. I forgot about
I
that.
was in the hospital. I feel like there's something else. I just I'm a busy
Snow,
person.
just snow everywhere. Just snow
So
everywhere.
yeah, so it's just when the easy exercises that I could do inside happened when it was warm outside. But then the exercise I need to do outside happened when it got cold outside and snowed and I couldn't. So, but I still found a way. Like, you just can't make excuses for yourself while doing this, and that's the big thing. Is like you can, like, I could have easily been like, oh, I have too much homework tonight, or oh, it's cold outside, it's snowing outside, but it's just like, just bang this out, just get it over with, do it, and you won't regret it.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much for doing this. And yeah, anyone who's watching this, hopefully you can take a lot from it. But yeah, thank you so much, man.
You're welcome.
That was awesome.